You ever watch a fight and you know the outcome of the fight already, and then the fight actually happens, and you kind of feel like embarrassed of the fight happening, even though you knew the outcome of the fight, you knew this was going to happen. Um, so I just witnessed Canelo Alvarez basically fight a guy who basically was there for a paycheck. I mean, it was really just one of these embarrassing exhibition fights. I mean, they said 15,000 people were there live, so it was sold out. So 15,000 people paid tickets to watch Saul Canelo Alvarez basically have a exhibition match, basically punch a heavy bag, because the dude that he fought, Yildirim, did not do anything, you know. And I heard that this was a mandatory fight. Like these are the type of pointless fights that I don't get. How could this guy be a mandatory for Canelo Alvarez, for one of Canelo Alvarez belts, but he hasn't fought in 2 years? How is that possible? How do you not fight for 2 years and somehow you're the mandatory for a belt to fight for challenge for a world title championship belt? Um, it's one of these waste of time fights that does nothing for anyone. I cannot I cannot understand why people would even bother to buy a ticket to watch this fight uh live in the arena, because you know the outcome. It was just really one of these worthless, pathetic type of fights. I can't really blame Saul Canelo Alvarez because, or maybe you can blame him for fighting this guy. But if this guy was the mandatory, then he had to fight him, or they would have stripped him of his belt, right? But again, why would they make this guy the mandatory for one of Canelo Alvarez's belts at what, super middleweight, when this guy has not even fought in 2 years? It's just one of these pathetic fights where the guy is literally not doing anything. Like, he's not doing anything against Canelo. He's not doing anything. The guy did not do anything against Canelo. He just stood there like a heavy bag and was just getting lit up. I could probably count with one freaking hand the amount of punches that this guy threw against Canelo. It was pathetic. He was just a heavy bag. I hate it. I hate it. And I absolutely hate it when a fighter gets this crazy opportunity in front of him and he doesn't try. I hate that. Okay? This guy, I mean, imagine if he beats Canelo. It is life-changing. Upset of the year, upset of the century, life-changing. But the guy goes in there, does not even try, does not even let his hands go. Gets dropped twice. Doesn't even try. His trainer, Joel Diaz, had to stop the fight because he could tell that he didn't want to be there. Like, he stopped it in the end of the round 4, I believe it was. He told him, if you don't hit back, I'm gonna stop the fight. And the dude didn't even look at him in the eye, so his trainer waved it off. And I don't blame him, because he looked like he didn't want to be there. It's just one of these pathetic fights where the guy doesn't do anything. And it wasn't even an exhibition or a sparring match, because in a sparring match, at least the sparring partner actually attempts to fight back and win some rounds. This dude didn't even fight back. He was basically a walking punching bag. He was a walking punching bag. All right? It's just, I don't understand these type of fights. I don't like these type of fights. I'm against these type of fights. I don't know if this was, like I said, a mandatory fight, a stay busy fight, but come on. I want to see Canelo in there with somebody who's actually trying to win. Not this type of low-level trash fights. I don't want to see Canelo in there with this type of level guy again. I mean, if the guy does not show up to fight, you're not supposed to be fighting him. So, yeah, I was not happy with this fight. Canelo did what he did, but again, the guy, obviously Canelo looked great, but of course you're going to look great when you're fighting a guy who's not even trying against you. So, yeah.